I don't know. I'm trying to blend everything and just make it be useful, but it's genuinely a great meal.
Yeah, you're really sucking its dick right now.
I am. And it's gonna be dry before I'm done.
Gonna get that gravy, girl.
Because my mouth is watering at sucking that Thanksgiving sandwich dick.
Oh, cranberry sauce all over me.
Like I get it on my shirt and I'm like, oh, you missed.
Not an eye.
You should have warned me.
Oh my God. Unlike Jay. And welcome back.
Hello.
Woohoo!
Woo! I'm so happy we're back again.
Me too. We're back for episode 20 of Beards and Sundries.
20.
Post-debate, and now we're all back to our normal schedules.
Thank God. I keep looking around the stockroom and I keep finding these fucking pins.
Oh, it sounds like Ted Cheerios came and visited.
Oh, well, Ted Cheerios got elected, so.
Ooh. That's right, guys. It's time for another lunch break here at Beards and Sundries, the shop where three gay men with beards do inventory on a new sundry in each episode.
And I'm Jay, and I'm best mashed or covered in cheese.
And I'm Anthony, the deviled egg farts you're going to have all day tomorrow.
Ew, P.U. And I'm Joe, the insanely comfortable recliner that your daddy is going to fall asleep in later.
Thanks, Daddy.
And today's sundry item is the ramp up to Thanksgiving. That's right, Beardos, we are firmly into November, and we're going to spend this lunch break getting hyped up for the comfort food day of the year. Savory, sweet, there's something for everyone.
Oh, man. I'm ready to be stuffed.
Oh, I'm so ready for my food coma.
Oh.
If I can't have a real coma, I'll at least take a food coma. Am I right?
Nudge, nudge, nudge. So, Joe, when shopping for Thanksgiving ingredients, is that in the sundries category?
We have found turkey basters in and out of packaging in the sundry section. So, guys, if you are new to the show and you're wondering what the hell a sundry is, the term comes from an Old English word meaning odds and ends. Now, today it's used mainly in retail as a way to group together items that otherwise wouldn't have a group of their own. So, as three very hungry gay men with beards, we're using the term to group together the wide range of topics that we cover.
Wow. Incredible.
That was wonderful, Joe. Just absolutely wonderful.
I want to be stuffed full of that opening.
Something fisting joke. I don't know. The pieces are all there.
Poppers?
That's right. We're talking about Thanksgiving, so we're just going to dive right into it. I want to start with our first topic. We're going to talk a little bit about the origins of Thanksgiving. Now, with a lot of older historical topics in this country, there's a lot of white stuff going on. So,
are you saying that this is whitewashed, Joe?
Yeah.
The Beards and Sundries podcast regrets to inform you that all three men who host this show are white.
I'm so sorry.
So I pulled up an article from Britannica.com, and it says here that Thanksgiving Day is an annual national holiday in the United States and Canada that celebrates harvest and other blessings of the past year. That's a nice little cute way to put it, huh?
Yeah.
Sure.
Thanksgiving is modeled on a 1621 harvest feast shared by the English colonists of Plymouth and the Wampanoag people. I probably butchered the fuck out of that.
That's embarrassing. What are you, white?
Really, really white. The American holiday is particularly rich in legend and symbolism, and the traditional fare of the Thanksgiving meal typically includes turkey, bread stuffing, potatoes, cranberries, and pumpkin pie. With respect to vehicular travel, the holiday is often the busiest of the year as family members gather with one another. Thanksgiving Day is celebrated on Thursday, November 24th, 2022, typically the last Thursday of November each year.
That was a very clean version of that holiday.
You know why I like Thanksgiving?
Why, Anthony? Why?
Food, obviously.
Honestly, I have to be honest. Thanksgiving's probably one of my favorite holidays, and it's because I'm fat. And I fucking love food.
Oh, I know. There's so much good food. But also, when I think about the origins of Thanksgiving and the 1621 dinner between the settlers at Plymouth and the Wampanoag people, I think, what have we will have done?
Have we gone from that to making this an awkward dinner every year with family, where for some reason someone feels
With racist family members.
obligated to come out?
Ooh. It also says here that the men fired guns, ran races, and drank liquor, struggling to speak in broken English and Wampanoag.
So it hasn't changed.
This was a rather disorderly affair, but it sealed a treaty between the two groups that lasted until King Philip's War in 1675, in which hundreds of colonists and thousands of Native Americans lost their lives. So there's a little bit of the origins for you. So it's basically a family-themed holiday to get together with your loved ones and celebrate the blessings of the past year, if you can find any.
I always do find the blessings. It's my sister listens, so she's gonna hate this. I love her though, but I don't enjoy family time that much. I'm so shitty, I know.
Listen, I limitedly enjoy family time, but we always do Friendsgiving.
I have that as a later topic, Anthony.
Oh, so we do Friendsgiving here, which we'll talk about later.
If my sister does listen to this still, I love you, and it's great to see you every holiday. Like, I enjoy seeing you.
Trisha, we love seeing your comments.
Oh, she does keep up well. I love that.
We typically get down to see my family in Florida once a year, and usually it's around Thanksgiving time. It's a little different this year, of course. There were some complications. But typically we would go down there around the end of October, early November-ish, so we would have like a pseudo-Thanksgiving with them, just like a fancier, little intimate dinner. But that's kind of how we would do it.
Yeah, we don't ever do a Thanksgiving meal with Joe's family. We just make a big meal together and enjoy each other's company and play Cards Against Humanity.
It's always fun because my family is a lot of foodies among us. My sister is big in the culinary industry, and my wonderful husband Anthony is a good foodie as well. So there's always a lot of good homemade stuff, lots of good stuff usually.
I really enjoy making a classic American dish called hamburger helper.
And I'm more of a hamburger hindrance.
So that's kind of your tradition with Joe's family, is you don't really have a specific meal. You have kind of just
the time together.
big meal that you guys make. Yeah, that's cool.
Joe's parents are vegan for the most part. They do it for health purposes. They'll break their vegan diet from time to time for just depending.
Yeah.
But for most of the time they're vegan, so doing an entire Thanksgiving meal would be kind of a lot.
We kind of do the same standard stuff every year, which I'm fine with, because if I'm having it once a year, I fucking love it. But so it's like I look forward to the turkey, mashed potatoes, stuffing, all that stuff. I also have a dish that I'm going to sound trashy, but it's the corn mixed with butter and cream cheese.
Ooh, yeah.
And it's just, if I recall right, one year my mom said, well, I wasn't going to make that. And I brought my own ingredients. I was like, well, then I'll make it and I'll just eat it alone. I don't care. I save that for this specific holiday, Mom.
Well, it's good that you bring up a side dish, Jay, because I kind of wanted to go into our next topic, which is other Thanksgiving foods. We all know about turkey. We're going to talk about turkey here in a minute, but I'd like to talk about some of the other stuff that we typically have with the Thanksgiving dinner. Jay just mentioned a wonderful sounding corn dish. I also like to do a mac and cheese every year. So I'll either find one and look it up, or I'll just do a couple boxes of Velveeta and zhuzh it up a little bit. I actually have a farmhouse cookbook.
Anthony is breathing very heavily.
What are you doing?
Deviled eggs!
I mean, yes, of course.
I want deviled eggs. I fucking love deviled eggs.
They're so good.
Deviled eggs, baby. Fucking love deviled eggs. They're so good. Now, Beardos, let's get a little consensus going. What do you think? Do you like relish in your deviled eggs, or are you an actual great human being?
I'm actually very neutral. It took me years to like relish in it, and now I don't care.
I don't care. I will not turn down a deviled egg because of relish.
Right. I'll eat them, but if there's no relish in those eggs, I'll eat all of them.
Oh my god, a deviled egg is just it's the perfect food, I think. Like
it really is.
I don't know how to explain it. It's just fucking incredible. You take the egg apart, you take the filling from the egg, you mix it with other shit,
fuck it up, and then you put it back in the egg.
And then you put it back in the egg, and then you put the egg in you.
And then you sprinkle just a little bit of paprika on top.
Not too much, not too much, just a little bit.
And then if you put too much, you're pissed. You're just like, God damn it!
Yeah, because you're like shaking on there like, oh, fuck!
Now, Beardos, some people only put mayonnaise and mustard inside of their deviled egg filling when they're mixing it up with their yolks, but make sure you add a little apple cider vinegar in there, because that acid is really going to balance things out.
Oh, see, I do pickle juice.
Ooh, pickle juice is another option.
And then I do a dab of sugar, and what else do I do? Salt and pepper, and then there's something else I mix in it. I usually mix in some paprika. No, sorry, not paprika. Parsley, and
parsley.
Yeah, I is it,
you mean caucasity seasoning?
Is it parsley that I put in there? Or maybe it's not parsley. What the fuck else do I put in there?
I like to chop up some green onions and put them on top just for a little bit of color and just the slightest little bit of crunch.
You know, it actually kind of makes me want to like finely dice some red onion and put it in there and see how it turns out.
I like one of our friends, Matt, came over for Friendsgiving one year and he had made some guacamole, I think, right, Anthony? And we ended up taking the deviled eggs and we were dipping them in the guacamole. Y'all. Oh my God.
So that actually leads me to a recipe that I found that I've yet to try, where instead of using mayo, you use mashed avocado.
You know, that would make sense because you're replacing a fat with a different fat. It'd be a lot healthier.
And it's a healthier fat. And also, it's highly recommended to use avocado as mayonnaise on sandwiches.
I've seen a lot of avocado mayo hype a lot lately. It's like the newest trend is the avocado oil, the avocado mayo.
I buy avocado mayo nowadays. I'm a basic bitch. I also buy oat milk, so I'm just becoming more and more basic every day, and I love it.
I like making mayo from scratch from time to time to put in stuff. Like
I haven't done that before.
It's really easy. There's a version I do from Binging with Babish that I make, and it's really good.
Have you ever done butter from scratch?
You know, I haven't done butter from scratch.
It's super easy.
Is it? I use so much fucking butter that I just assume that like that would be so much work.
Okay, so I thought that I would try making my own butter to save money because I was like, oh, surely if you do it, it saves money. It doesn't really, because you're buying heavy whipping cream, and
which is expensive.
Yes. And you're just beating it constantly until it morphs into butter. And then you wash it off. And then you're like, butter. And then the nice part about it, though, is it's soft then. So you can add flavoring to it. So if you want a herb or a garlic butter or something.
You can make a compound butter, too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can design the butter to be what you want. And so if you want to do sugar cinnamon, it's super easy to put together.
Hey, perfect for adding to your corn and cream cheese.
Yeah. And I really liked it, but in my head I was like, okay, I can literally just buy sticks of butter for the same price that I'm spending on this.
And then have you guys seen that emerging trend lately with charcuterie boards, but it's a butter board? So people are like spreading butter on a board and then they'll have like herbs or like edible flowers or whatever, what have you on top of that. And it honestly looks kind of bomb.
It looks great. But I'm one of those people who I hate to follow trends. And so once it starts falling out of fashion, I may be like, I'm going to try a butterboard.
I agree with that, though, because there's also those terrible charcuterie boards where people are like, it's a French fry board or like, it's a chicken nugget board. And I'm like, bitch, I know that shit is cold and that is not good.
That's the thing is I've always wanted to do on a fat night and do like a fast food board where I have like all the nugs, all the fries, but it's going to be cold immediately.
But you have to drive around everywhere to get all the different things, unless you're door dashing it all, which is going to be so expensive.
You get it from Schwann's, which is now Yellow.
Yellow.
And you know what? It's still delicious, and I love it. And I just had some chicken nugs from them the other night.
Actually, listeners, Jay gets all of his Thanksgiving accoutrement from Yellow. He gets a very tiny Cornish game hen for himself.
Oh, you get a little baby.
Half of a yellow potato or half of a gold potato to make his mashed potatoes with.
This is starting to sound like I sit at home alone, very depressed on Thanksgiving.
This is what I'm explaining to our listeners. He gets half of a yam.
Half of a yam, so a yeah?
Yeah. And then one green bean, one little like teaspoon of cream of mushroom soup, and like a little shredded cheese to put on top of it. And that's his Thanksgiving dinner.
You know, it's 2020 that I stayed home because I was still recovering from health issues, and I didn't want to come up and visit my family during that hype during COVID while I was having health issues. And so I stayed home and invited my friends over that I knew had not been anywhere to get COVID. And I hosted one hell of a Thanksgiving meal because I fucking love to cook.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And I don't think I've ever been to Jay's on Thanksgiving, but we do Friendsgiving here. So
I need to do better about that. I need to host things.
Well, and then we talk about carbs on carbs on carbs on carbs. I like to make a macaroni and cheese as a classic side. I found a cookbook recently that's like farmhouse recipes, and I found this mac and cheese recipe in there that sounds really, really great. So I'm going to try it out this year, and I hope it works out because the person who wrote the recipe says they had like tinkered with various things and had finally found the right ratio of the different cheeses. So I'm pretty excited about it. I'm not even going to do a trial run. So knock on wood, I hope this works out great. So
you're not going to do a trial run?
I'm not going to do a trial run. I figure if I make it and it doesn't turn out well, then we've got some backup boxes of Velveeta shells and cheese that I can just throw on the stovetop.
Emergency backup ingredients.
Well, and then speaking of carbs on carbs, we also want to talk about stuffing. So I've seen a couple of different preparations. My dad used to make like a dry stuffing with like actual like hunks of bread and everything. I'm more of a wet stuffing fan. So like the stovetop stuffing, the stuff that comes out of a turkey. I like a good moist stuffing.
So I like to make that handmade too. Like I will dice up bread, toast it, do all that stuff. I love that kind of stuffing.
What bread do you go for? Like a sourdough or?
Okay, so I'm a little bit trashy there, and I will just use whatever I have.
So I made a loaf of bread yesterday, and I've been debating turning it into like stuffing or turning it into croutons.
I had some pretzel hamburger buns that were getting old, and I was scared mold was going to grow on them, so I diced them up and turned them into croutons, and that's some really good croutons. You can make some excellent croutons in an air fryer, by the way.
Ooh, I'll have to try that.
It's so much better than the oven.
Oh, yeah. Air fryer is superior to almost every kitchen device.
So mine's an air fryer, pressure cooker, and crock pot. It's all in one. And best invention ever. Thanks, Ninja. Sponsor us.
We had the air fryer topper for our Instant Pot for a while, and then we invested in a better, like a kitchen, like a countertop air fryer that kind of took the place of that. So that's what we've been using. It works really well.
And it makes the best fucking chicken wings I've ever had in my life. It's so good.
Yeah.
And I say it makes, I prep the chicken wings and I do all the other work, but it cooks them extremely well.
I made some cheesy breadsticks in mine yesterday for my pasta dish. And, oh, God, so good.
Oh, we should talk about, as we're talking about carbs, we should talk about potatoes, taters.
I love some good old taters.
Boil them, mash them, put them in a stew.
Mashed potatoes.
Yes.
Guys, I am a slut for mashed potatoes and gravy.
Oh my god, yes. Mashed potatoes for days.
Oh, me too. I'm a regular slut too, but like mashed potatoes and gravy. Ugh.
If my body wouldn't be so shitty to me, I would eat them on a regular basis.
We do.
I cut back only just to reduce sodium, stuff like that, but they're just so good, damn it.
My PCP wants me to cut back on my sodium intake, but I don't do that.
Literally, Majority of my doctors tell me that, and so I've done better finally. It took me a few years.
Oh, another traditional Thanksgiving side, green bean casserole. Yes or no, fellas?
Is a traditional one, and I'm gonna go all the way in and say yes, definitely. It's the best time of year to have fried onion strings.
I love them. My mom always trashed them, and I love green bean casserole.
They're so good.
Mixed in with cream of mushroom soup.
Green beans, so you're getting a vegetable, so it's healthy.
And onions on top.
Fried onions.
God, guys, my mouth is watering. I am so ready for Thanksgiving.
Man, I want some fucking green bean casserole right now.
What the fuck day is Thanksgiving this year? How many days do I have left to wait?
It's the 24th.
We could totally have green bean casserole any day of the year.
And we never make it.
I literally can make my cream cheese buttercorn daily if I wanted to. It's just so easy. Like, why do I make myself wait?
So what's your go-to dish? Like, if you were showing up at a Thanksgiving dinner and you were to bring a dish of some sort of side, you're not making the turkey, but you're bringing a side or you're bringing a dessert, whatever it is. What is your go-to dish that you make?
I would go with some form of macaroni and cheese in a casserole format, or like a pasta salad, like a cold pasta salad as a side.
Ooh, yeah. Pasta salad's always great.
It depends, because I've showed up at a lot of different events, and it's a vibe that I have to always catch on to. Usually it's a cheesy potato of some sort, like funeral potatoes.
Yes.
Or like a scalloped.
Yeah, I don't have to wait for someone to die to have a funeral potato.
I make homemade cranberry sauce because people are usually like, I've never had that, so I'll make that.
Yeah.
And then otherwise I do dessert.
So I usually do dessert too. I'm a real traditionalist. I love making an apple pie. Love it.
And I love eating it.
A good scratch apple pie is so insane.
I officially found my new dessert that I will bring to any Thanksgiving that I am required to bring dessert to. And it is tested through my entire department at work, and it is wildly approved. And it is pecan pie cheesecake.
You sent us those pictures, and I thought...
He sent those pictures, and I was like...
it was so fucking gorgeous. I have never... food pictures are always nice. But that one was insanely good. I wanted to eat the fuck out of it.
It came out pretty, and it came out utterly...
throbbing.
Delicious. It was...
dripping.
It was rich.
Sopping.
And
huge.
I was wet all day.
Sliding off this fucking chair right now.
I'm gonna leave a trail through this house. It was so fantastic.
You sent those pictures and I was like, oh, I'm about to bust.
Oh God, yeah, it was.
I was like, meat.
Shut up, God.
Oh God, yeah, it is my new dessert, and some of my coworkers asked me they want to pay me to make it because it was just so good.
I want to fucking pay you to make it.
Do you guys need it? Do you want a cheesecake? I'll make it for you. Just give me the date.
Send me the recipe.
No!
God damn it! Send me the recipe!
Pay me $50 and I'll make it!
No, you have to scroll through his entire web article first before you get to the recipe.
Yeah, I was about to say I'll write a blog first. Back in 1989 when I was born, I came out of the womb craving pecans. And that's when I started my lifelong mission for a pecan pie cheesecake.
My father was an alcoholic, and my mother was addicted to pecans laced with cocaine.
I mean...
Ever since... I've loved pecans.
I'll be honest, that's kind of a description of my family when I was young.
The best meme I've seen about that stupid article format, and it was like some fucking random casserole, and it just showed a screen cap of the first beginning of the article, and it was shortly after the attacks of 9/11, and I was like, oh my God. This is a recipe for a fucking corn casserole or some shit.
Oh my God.
There are so many Thanksgiving side dishes that you could possibly do. Dinner rolls is another thing that is always common in Thanksgiving, or at least it was when I was growing up. And one year, like everybody was raving about my grandmother's dinner rolls, and I was a little kid. I was sitting at the kids' table, and I didn't know what I was saying. Like I had seen commercials and stuff, so like I out loud said, if you don't like Mama's dinner rolls, you must have a yeast infection.
When was this?
I was a little.
This was
kid.
last week.
This was last week. Yeah, I was a young child of 35.
Oh my god, that is hilarious. You gotta love a good dinner roll on your Thanksgiving plate because it sops up the leftover gravy, a little bit of those potatoes you have left, some of that cream and mushroom soup from your green bean casserole. The dinner roll is the unsung hero of wiping up the entire plate and having a happy tray.
Yeah, all your remains that are on the plate, you
just scoop them up.
So there's this place called Shiloh's that's maybe like 2-3 minutes from the house. It's pretty close. It's nearby. They make the best fucking rolls in all of existence. I have never eaten a roll that compares to what they have.
They closed down for COVID and some other stuff that went down, and they literally just reopened like a week ago. And I am so excited.
We're going to order our rolls for Thanksgiving from them instead of having anybody make them so that we can spare ourselves the work. Because you know when you find something that you can purchase that you're not going to make a better version of at home? That's it. Like, their dinner rolls are insane.
Honestly, there are a few store-bought things that I'm like, why would I buy?
Also, I like to support them because they're local. They're a local place. So, I mean, like, I don't want to take the time and space in my kitchen that day to worry about fucking dinner rolls. So I'm going to go find somewhere local that has a great dinner roll, and I'm going to give them my money and support them and then bring home rolls to have with the meal.
I don't even remember the brand that I buy, but it's a frozen dough ball that you just sit out and let it rise and bake, and it's like a fresh new dinner roll. I didn't have to do shit. Also, I'm ashamed to admit, but Marie Callender's apple pie.
It's good. It's a good apple pie.
That's why she's the moneymaker. Her husband's in charge of the calendars, and that's it.
If you want an apple pie in a pinch,
that's a good way to go. For sure. It's a great apple pie. I will say, though, a good homemade apple pie will beat a Marie Callender's any day. But
it will. But for me, it's like I don't make them enough and I don't do enough that I'm like, this will suffice 100% for my fix that I need.
Just don't be like Sharon Weiss and leave it in the oven until the end of time.
That was a pumpkin pie, stupid bitch.
You want a great pumpkin pie, though? Go to Costco. Their pumpkin pies are fucking phenomenal.
Their pumpkin pies are great.
Yeah, they're like $6.
I'm a pumpkin pie cheesecake fan, too. Like,
oh my god, the pumpkin cheesecake from Costco.
It's a little rich for my blood. Like, it's a little too much for me.
It's a little rich for everyone's blood.
Joe, he's a witch! He's a witch! Burn him at the stake!
I know. Get him!
I'm not just a witch. I'm also an occultist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of your best qualities.
That I've read Agrippa. Thank you.
No, that you're an occultist.
Oh, well, you know. And it's in Old English.
It's better than being a trumper.
Well, and then... wait, upside down. Boom.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah. For our listeners out there, I just held up the 3 books of occult philosophy and an encyclopedia of 5,000 spells.
They're not working yet.
Oh, they're not working, Joe? How many years have we been together?
Fine.
Anyways, what were we talking about?
We were on food.
And then I got one more for other Thanksgiving foods, and that is the highly debatable topic of cranberry sauce. I am negative on it.
No, not for me.
It's not for me.
Okay. So.
We're about to hear about your homemade cranberry sauce, aren't we? Back in the bogs in Vermont, finding our own cranberries for Grandmama.
Do you guys want to know about cranberry sauce? Back in the late days of the 1990s, I was a young child and I lived on a beautiful... Anyways, I don't ever crave cranberry sauce. It's just there. I have to give it credit. It's always this tart taste that goes with sweet and savory, and I actually kind of appreciate it. And I actually look forward to it no matter what form it's in, canned or homemade, which I make it homemade because that's just me. But
And cranberry sauce looks so crazy with the little ridges on it, and people cut slices off. I'm just like, no.
It's actually really good. I hate how good that is from the can. I hate how good it is, but it is good. But what I actually enjoy doing is I really enjoy it for leftovers. And I do a Thanksgiving turkey sandwich.
You do. I knew it. You're one of those
fucking knew it.
people.
I knew
fucking
it.
knew it.
I
Good
toast
God.
bread, and one layer has mayo, one layer I spread cranberry sauce on, and I have turkey and lettuce and all that, and it's delicious.
I'm actually glad you brought that subject up because there are so many places that will do a Thanksgiving sandwich, and it sounds great on paper until one part, which is the cranberry sauce itself. I just can't wrap my head around it, and maybe I just need to go get one and just blindly eat it, but it's all great on paper. It's the turkey, it's the stuffing, which sounds great, it's the mayo, it's the lettuce or tomato if they put that on there, and then they put cranberry sauce on it, and I'm just like, wah. And it just doesn't sound good to me.
There's a trick to it. It goes right back to that tart, sweet, savory thing situation where if you put salty potato chips on your sandwich with the cranberry sauce, it just, the flavors blend really well for me.
It's a balance of flavors. It's the same reason why when you have something that's a little high in salt content, that if you throw some acid on there, it tastes better.
Yeah.
You know, I will say in recent years I have experienced some palate changes, and I have gained, for example, like a new appreciation for red onions or what have you. So maybe I should just go somewhere and get a Thanksgiving sandwich and give it a try.
I recommend trying it. Melt the cheese, stuff like that.
Maybe we should just try cranberry sauce again this time. Let's just get some cranberry sauce. Maybe we'll make some cranberry sauce. Who knows?
I didn't like it when I was younger.
Well, Capriotti's, that sandwich place we have right down in Broken Arrow, has a Thanksgiving sub, and it always sounds great on paper to me until the cranberry sauce, but maybe I just need to go try it and see what the hype's about.
And what you could do,
Maybe I can get it on the side.
I was going to say, get it on the side and just put it on a little bit of the sandwich and just try it. See if you might appreciate it.
Yeah, because the rest sounds great, so maybe it will be great altogether.
I mean, a leftover Thanksgiving sandwich, even if you add stuffing, stuff like that, it's so good. And I hate to admit how good it is, because it just feels like I don't know. I'm trying to blend everything and just make it be useful, but it's genuinely a great meal.
Yeah, you're really sucking its dick right now.
I am. And it's gonna be dry before I'm done.
Gonna get that gravy, girl.
Yeah.
Because my mouth is watering at sucking that Thanksgiving sandwich dick.
Oh, cranberry sauce all over me.
Like I get it on my shirt and I'm like, oh, you missed.
Oh, not in the eye.
You should have warned me.
Oh my God. Unlike Jay.
And then I wanted to touch on one more thing about Thanksgiving foods that aren't the main event. Did you guys ever store your leftovers like outside or on the porch, or was it never cold enough here?
It's never cold enough here. What the fuck?
Growing up, here's the part of the show where I mentioned I grew up in West Virginia. So fridge space was limited and it was cold because it was November in West Virginia. So we would put our leftovers on our screened in with a door front porch, and we would put them out on like a chair or something, and they would stay cold because it was cold the whole time up there. And I know I'm not the only one who grew up with families doing this, putting their leftovers outside. I only bring this up because I saw a great TikTok recently where I saw this great TikTok last year of someone who lived in an apartment. I think it was in Chicago, and it was like April, and they had just remembered that they had left all of their Thanksgiving leftovers on their balcony, and it was April. And they opened their balcony, and They opened these pots and pans and Tupperwares, and there were horrific things inside those containers, and they literally just threw them all away.
Kids, I need you to go out to the porch and get the turkey.
Hey, you know what? It was cold. There was no fridge space. We put all our stuff outside on the screened-in front porch. Fight me.
So the only time I ever did that was when we lost electricity due to, I don't know, an ice storm or a snowstorm.
Your Pioneer Woman days?
And I was like, yes, and sadly, this was only 2 years ago. And I was just like, okay, I need to rescue this stuff. So I put it out in the snow and rescue it. And in an emergency moment, I've never done that because I'm just like, oh, I'm out of space in my refrigerator.
That was such a fun time on Facebook, Jay, because I would log in and there'd just be like a random, what was it? You were Laura Ingalls? You were tweeting as a Pioneer Woman the whole time.
That was 12 days of me being Laura Ingalls. And just 2 years ago, I just barely got my electricity back. I was out for 12 whole days. It was insane.
We're well into November, and the high today was like 77.
Oh, it got up to 80.
Yeah, but tomorrow our high's 71 tomorrow at noon. And then all of a sudden it's going to tank to 40.
There's a storm coming through that's going to bring a cold front with it. It's supposed to be 47 on Friday.
There is a nearly 40-degree temperature shift from our high to our low tomorrow. Because
and I love the cold.
Oklahoma. I'm so ready for the cold, though.
And so when this episode comes out, it's going to be arctically cold in Oklahoma for at least us.
Yay! Open the windows.
Open the windows.
And the walls.
So now that we've talked about appetizers, side dishes, desserts, everything else, it's time to talk about the main star of the show, and that is the turkey itself. Now, of course, there are some other families that do ham. There are some people that do not ham and not turkey. We're just going to talk about turkey as the main star of the show because a lot of times if it's done wrong, it can come out dry and bland and just covered in caucasity seasoning. We have perfected the method of using the deep fryer. We have a dedicated deep fryer for our turkey.
I was about to ask, how do you guys make it?
Preparation of the turkey.
How do you make yours, Jay? Before I tell you how I make mine.
So for years, we actually...
He wakes up at 4 a.m. Go ahead.
Actually, every single year, we would do it differently. We would bake it, we'd fry it, I don't know, my stepdad at the time had an electric smoker, all that jazz. So each year we would do it a different way. And now all we do, I'm not in control of it. I don't run that stuff. But now my stepdad has a very fancy pellet grill.
Oh, is it a Traeger?
And so every single year we just smoke it. It is a Yoder.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Yoder is...
That's that character from Star Wars, right?
Not Yoda. It is, if I recall right, it's equivalent or more expensive than Traeger. It is special handmade out of an Amish community up in Kansas.
Out of the Dagobah system.
Yeah. And it does a great job. It's heavy as shit. He literally has a winch built into his porch to roll it up a ramp.
Hey, it's not nice to call your mom that.
But it's accurate.
So we do fried every year. I love a fried turkey. And so I'll start, like, if your turkey's coming out dry, it's not because you're not basting it enough or all that bullshit. It's because you haven't brined it properly. You need to brine it. Brine it. So I do a dry brine and rub days in advance, probably 3 days before I plan to make it and keep it in the fridge. And I also do injectable butter.
Injectable butter, baby.
That's what I call my penis.
Inject that butter in there.
Well, it's almost accurate. It's basically what's coming out of you at this point.
After that cheesecake, yeah, that's exactly what's coming out of me.
Oh, God.
It's oozing out of me.
But then it only takes 45-ish minutes to fry it up. And oh my God, that turkey comes out incredible every fucking time. I haven't had a bad fried turkey.
We've gotten pretty damn good at it. And there are some dangerous ways to do this wrong. It is a very delicate method of doing it. You want to make sure that your turkey is fully thawed out, because if you put a frozen turkey into hot boiling oil, it's going to overflow, it's going to cause a fire hazard, and it can be very, very dangerous. We always open our garage door. We have a small side table that we put out in the middle of the garage with both cars out. And then we put our turkey fryer on top of that table. We preheat it safely with all the oil inside. The fryer has a rip-away cord just in case of emergencies. When it's ready to go, we lower it slowly into that oil and we cook it safely. And it makes the garage smell like heaven for like 2 weeks.
This makes me think that we should ask listeners if they have any exciting Thanksgiving stories like that.
Ooh, yes.
We should do that. Listeners, do you have any dramatic Thanksgiving stories from cooking a turkey that you want to tell us about?
Yes, please tell us, because I want to know. I want to hear about a time that you fried a turkey and it went wrong, or your stupid uncle did it.
Or you burnt the house down, or...
Exactly, I want to know.
We want to know.
Yeah, I want to know. Also, plus side to frying the turkey in the garage, that garage smells wonderful for like a week.
Do you leave your car in it so your car also smells delicious?
Yeah, basically I'm driving around in the turkey mobile.
You're like driving to work and you're like, oh my God.
But we have a dedicated turkey fryer. Like, this thing is designed to fry turkeys. We've had it since we moved into the house, and we use it every single year. It's basically, we'll use it for some other things, but it really is the one thing that it does. And we'll probably have it until it decides to give up the ghost. And then we'll buy a new one.
Oh my gosh. Anthony, this kind of goes back to prehistoric times when we just met. But my old green Suburban, actually, in the midsummer, would smell like turkey sometimes, because before I owned it, I bought it from some friends at the time. They had a relative that was bringing a turkey to Thanksgiving, and I think somebody slammed on the brakes, and it spilled all over in the floor. And years later, it would still, in hot weather, get a slight turkey smell.
Oh my God.
And they had it professionally cleaned and everything, and it just never went away.
Well, I never smelled it, so at least there was that.
In the middle of August, I was like, oh my God, guys, Thanksgiving's coming.
Another added bonus of the turkey fryer is that when that turkey's done, you now have a fully prepped vat of fryer oil with just a little bit of hint of turkey. So sometimes we'll have some frozen stuff that's supposed to go into a fryer, and we have it like ready to go, like French fries or like mac and cheese balls or crab rangoon or something. And we're like, all right, throw it in the basket and let's fry it up too, because you have a whole vat of oil ready to go. Like, let's fry some shit up.
And that's expensive oil.
That peanut oil is not cheap, because that's what I always use, is peanut oil.
You are pulling out a loan to pay for that turkey oil.
I was looking at it at Costco the other day, and it's like $60 for the jug that we get.
So we're going to use that turkey fryer for other stuff in the next year, because we're going to have to.
We're going to pull a Popeyes. We aren't changing that for the next decade. That's what makes it taste good.
I also wanted to touch upon the well-known theory that tryptophan is found in turkey and it makes you sleepy.
I thought that was true.
I pulled up an article that I found on here. It is not true. It's a myth. It has been debunked, in fact.
It's just because I eat the fuck out of everything on Thanksgiving and I'm tired.
It's because I'm a fat fucking bitch and I ate too much and my body is pushing all of my blood into my stomach, and so it's reducing the blood everywhere else, and I'm just like...
I pulled up an article from the New York Times, and it says here that tryptophan is associated with healthy sleep, but there's no more tryptophan in turkey than in other common meats like chicken and beef. Other foods, including nuts and cheeses, contain more. So, it's a fun myth. You know, Dad's falling asleep in the recliner again. Ha ha. It's the tryptophan.
I must explain why I get so tired every time I get a nut.
A lot of scientists theorize that it's actually the carbs that are making you sleepy, which I believe more. It's just that you overate. With potatoes, stuffing, yams, rolls, and pie on top of that turkey, you're inhaling a lot of carbs, so that's why you're so sleepy.
What a fun fact, Joe.
You did great. I feel really educated.
Yeah, that was well researched.
Please leave that in. So it's fun that we've talked about the origins, the foods, the Toiki, and now we're going to talk about something we mentioned a couple times already. We're going to talk about Friendsgiving. Yay!
Yay!
I mean, it's been a fun term. It's been thrown around for a few years. It's just, friends getting together for Thanksgiving. What have it, you might not like your family. You might not have your family around anymore. You might not have your family close by. So, you spend the day with other friends instead. We do a Friendsgiving here at the house. It's a lot easier than doing a Thanksgiving with family instead.
And a lot of times it's just, not to kind of damper things, but a lot of gay people do not have close relations with their families, and friends are our family.
Yeah, it's your chosen family.
And those events, I enjoy those events more because they don't feel so forced and awkward. And it's unfortunate that we feel that way, but...
Well, and I think that's why Friendsgiving feels so much more important than a regular Thanksgiving, because you're not just going back to see people that you don't want to see. You're not like traveling to a place you don't want to be at. You're not looking at this time off that you're getting from work as this whole giant burden that you're having to deal with, right? It's not something to dread.
You're going somewhere you want to go to see people that you want to see.
That you want to see and you actually are thankful to have in your life. And so we do a Friendsgiving here every year. Ever since we moved in, we've done Friendsgiving.
It's so much fun to see what people will bring. You can buy something. That's fine if you're not a culinary master. Just bring something. It's always fun to see what people will bring because it's always fun to see what we...
It's not okay.
What? Bitch?
Master the basics of the culinary world before you come into my house.
Here, Anthony, you drop this.
Ah! No, get that clown nose away from me.
Anthony, I don't know how to cook at all.
I know you don't.
Bitch!
What a shitty response.
You literally use my biscuits and gravy ingredients and recipe.
Nah, I use your gravy recipe. I make my own damn biscuits, bitch.
That's true. You do use my gravy recipe. Because my biscuits I cheat on a lot because I'm lazy.
What a fancy lunch break.
Anyways, but yeah, we do Friendsgiving every single year, and I prefer it to Thanksgiving.
I just always love to see just the people I love to see. Like, I don't care what we eat. It's funny how with my family, I'm more obsessed with having the traditional meals, when with friends, I'm like, let's just have whatever. I don't care. Traditional's fine. But if everyone's not into that, I don't care. I just want to see everyone. And I want to be thankful that I have this connection of a group of people.
Yes, exactly. Like, I don't know. Family Thanksgivings have always felt forced to me. I think if you really loved your family and you guys were really close, it would be very different.
I envy those people that have that kind of relationship that I'm like, oh man, that seems nice.
And I imagined if we lived closer to Joe's family, that would be the way it would be. Like,
for sure, yeah.
Yeah. But it's just not the same for me. I love my family. No misunderstanding. It's just not the same. Like, I don't want to do that.
I love my family that nothing bad happens to them, but that's where I struggle a lot. Those events are not fun.
It's the chat piles, huh?
Mom, why'd you let me play in chat piles?
The turkey seasoned in the chat pile.
She's like, kids, go out and dig a hole in the chat pile so we can cook up a good old turkey.
Is it time for a commercial break?
I think it's time for commercial. And this is a very fun food-themed episode so far. So I think it's time for a word from our sponsor.
And now for a word from our sponsor, Mary Planner's Pies. Does the smell of apples and cinnamon remind you of home? Does lemon meringue bring back memories of family gatherings? When you taste the tart and sweet cherries under a crumbly crust, do you think of your racist relatives? Well, thanks to Mary Planner's Pies, you can look back on all the fond memories you have of your terrible family. At Mary Planner's, we make all our pies with love and xenophobia, just like Grandma used to make. Our factories are staffed entirely by overworked and underpaid employees, and the mistreatment transfers directly to each and every pie. With the holidays right around the corner, that means double shifts for all our employees. They won't be seeing their families this year thanks to mandatory overtime and vacation blackout. So this season, why not pick up a Mary Planter's pie? Because at Mary Planters, we make every pie fresh and full of capitalist greed. Mary Planters pies. Because what are you gonna do? Bake one yourself?
Mary Planters, the taste of racism.
Mary Planters Pies is a proud sponsor of the Ted Cheerios for Senate campaign. My favorite type of Mary Planters pie is strawberry rhubarb and railroad spike.
My favorite is super duper overloady weenie peenie trumpy peenie weenie beanie peenie weenie.
That's the one with all the flags over it, right?
Yeah.
So the other day, I actually tried, and bear with me, it's pretty delicious. Their tomato avocado pie, great. Fantastic. Loved it.
It sounds a little bit like a guacamole pie.
Yeah, it was pretty delicious.
I also hear they're coming out with a Chex Mix pie that's made of real bits of Bill Chex Mix now that he lost the election.
It's an adequate pie, from what I'm told.
Yeah.
He votes no to stink, but he loves pink starbursts.
But I do hear that it gets you high because it is chock full of THC.
Because he's cool as shit.
What's our game tonight, Joe?
So, as we told you guys last week, Beardos, we have a brand new game. This game is called Florida Man Birthday Headlines. Now, as you may be able to figure out, this game means that we are going to type in a birthday into Google with the phrase Florida Man, and we're going to find the funniest headline we can find. Now, with this first round, we're going to use our birthdays. We're going to encourage you guys to type in and send us your birthdays and see what we can find. Jay, you want to go first?
I do, because I've already typed it in just now if you didn't hear me. Okay, this is December 2nd of 2019. And a drunken Florida man with a real gun shoots a child playing with a Nerf gun.
What?
Yeah, basically, he was drunk on whiskey and beer. Not just one, but both. And pulled out a real gun to show this 7-year-old and his friends that were playing with a Nerf gun.
7-year-old.
Yeah, shot this kid in the leg. And the mom of the 7-year-old sent the guy with the gun to his room until the police came while they took the kid to the hospital.
What the fuck?
To his room?
Go to your room.
You put that gun away, young man. Come on, Timmy, we gotta go to the hospital. Let's see. The guy told officers that he'd taken shots of Southern Comfort and drank beer the night of the shooting. And if he shot the child, it must have been an accident because he couldn't remember, according to the report.
In Florida, that makes it completely legal.
That makes it a very good excuse. But he was arrested on charges of child neglect with great bodily harm and using a weapon while under the influence of alcohol.
A lot of people should be arrested in Florida for that.
Well, that's a great start to the game. Anthony, what do you got?
On November 19th, that is this month, of 2018, a Florida man was arrested for having sex with a miniature horse on multiple occasions.
Multiple? Must have been good.
Multiple occasions. Marion County, Florida. A Florida man has been arrested for having sex with a miniature horse on multiple occasions, deputies say. According to the Marion County Sheriff's Office, 21-year-old Nicholas Anthony Sardo of Citra has been arrested and charged with 4 counts of bestiality/sexual contact with an animal. Deputies say that on October 16th, a witness came forward and reported that she had witnessed Sardo having sex with a miniature male pony named Jackie G.
He's feeling Jackie and G.
In a pasture, and of course they had to throw the detail that is a male pony. In a pasture on a family's...
Oh, what is he, a homosexual?
I don't know. It doesn't specify. In a pasture on a family member's property 3 days earlier. Another witness came forward saying she saw it as well, and she approached Sardo about what she had seen, according to the sheriff's office. Two people witnessed this. So when the fuck was this happening? And he's just out there just fucking the horse. Sardo immediately admitted to her that he had sex with the horse and also gave the same admission to a detective investigating the allegation. Sardo added that he had sex with the horse 4 times during the course of a week. The sheriff's office stated in a press release that, quote, he used a condom each time because he didn't want to get a disease from the horse.
Well, I mean, good job.
So he was the top?
He was practicing safe sex. Either that or he put the condom on the horse.
Which, I mean, also an event in itself.
Magnum XL.
Yeah, there's... anyways, additionally, Sardo told the detective that he knew he was wrong for what he did and that he was, quote, a sick man, according to the sheriff's office.
Did the horse consent?
Well, horses can't consent. They're animals.
It didn't say nay. It said yay.
One of Sardo's family members is the owner of the horse, and the horse is currently under their care. Stipulations of Sardo's future contact with the horse could be determined by a judge in the near future.
Do you love the horse, or are you just saying it because?
Because the horse is now pregnant.
Okay. Why wouldn't you look at me during the rhino that won't look at you during?
Well, what's yours, Joe?
Also, fun fact, Anthony, Citra is 47 miles away from my parents' house.
Oh, we could go there.
We could totally go there.
Historical events happened in Citra.
Oh, Joe, mine was in, where was mine? Sanford.
Oh, Sanford's where we fly into every time we go to Florida. Yeah.
Sanford is where we fly into. It's just north of Orlando.
Well, there's a guy there that shoots children.
Okay. So mine comes from Naples, Florida, and it comes from March 9th, 2021. And it's entitled, Florida Man Pulls Out Dank Gummies Instead of ID After Nearly Hitting a Gas Pump. A Florida man who nearly hit a gas pump pulled out a package of dank gummies instead of his driver's license to show a deputy he was trying to help him. Deputies said they were called to a gas station on Pine Ridge Road in Naples shortly before midnight because witnesses said a suspicious man had nearly hit a gas pump and appeared to be under the influence. The suspect said he didn't have keys to the vehicle, but then rummaged through his pockets and pulled out the keys. The deputy then asked Lopez for his driver's license, so he started rifling through his pockets again and this time pulled out a small green package labeled Dank Gummies with cannabis infused written on it as well. The deputy asked if Lopez just pulled out THC gummies, and Lopez claimed that it was normal candy, but when he was asked to hand over the package, the deputy saw that it was labeled as containing over 500 milligrams of THC.
Oh, the package does, because that's how the packaging works.
Yeah, the packaging is very weird.
Yeah, packaging tells you how much the total amount is.
1 billion milligrams of THC, but there's also 300 million edibles in here.
The suspect was then taken into custody, and a small baggie of cocaine was also found on his person, in addition to the THC-infused candies.
Why wouldn't there be cocaine?
Oh, Florida.
Although I feel like in that situation, the cocaine may have been planted by the police.
Sure.
And the broken taillight that they hit whenever they're like, well, it looks like it.
I'm also, at this time of taping, going to throw out a very special hope for Florida because you guys are in the direct path of Hurricane Nicole right now. And we really hope that everyone in Hurricane Nicole's path stayed safe. We hope that you're all right. We hope that everyone is just fine because hurricanes are no joke, especially to Florida.
I really hope that everyone has stayed safe. I hope you're well. I hope that you made it through the storm safely. Sending our love to you.
We wish you absolutely the best, and we definitely hope that you've stayed safe this entire time.
So that's our new game, everyone. We hope that you guys will send us your birthdays. We hope that you will send us all kinds of stuff for that because it's a really fun one. It's a very fun topic and game to play.
Just send us your Florida Man stories. Like, pick your birthday. Pick one. Send it to us. We want to hear about it.
Find the one you want because there could be multiple ones and send it our way because I would love to just be surprised. Like, and not have us research it. We could read it in real time. Like,
November is Florida Man birthday month.
who has something to check out for us?
Mine is a little old grandma that she does. Her name on TikTok is Sue Sally Sue. And she actually just goes through and shows a whole bunch of old-timey recipes that she makes for her little old husband.
I've seen a few of those trends.
And I actually kind of picked her because we're getting closer to Thanksgiving. And she does these really cute she does these cute videos, I should say, of little recipes she does. And she makes them for her little husband. And her name is Sue Sally Sue. So it's like S-U-E, Sally, S-U-E. And it's just, she's kind of like this little old grandma, and she cooks all the time for her little old husband. And it's a super sweet TikTok. I love to follow it. And she makes some very easy, cute recipes.
We love easy recipes here.
I love easy and cute recipes.
She does some really easy ways of corn on the cob, too, which I saw recently on hers. So, recommend checking that out.
I love corn on the cob. It's cone!
Well, I hear the Muzak coming back on.
Oh, already?
That's right. Lunch break is wrapping up this week, Beardos.
It's so sad.
It was so nice to hang out with you guys again for lunch and to talk about food. Mashed potatoes.
And we had our leftover Thanksgiving sandwiches.
Which I will try.
And if you don't try them, I'm going to be very disappointed.
I'm going to try it.
You have to try them. They're delicious.
We'll get the Capriati's version, and we'll get it as like a small sub for us to share.
I won't judge.
But we'll try it for you, Jay, because we love you.
And I'm curious. If you don't like it, I won't be offended, but I am curious what you think of it. I've grown to love it over the years, especially adding some kettle-cooked salt and vinegar chips on my sandwich.
Well, we're also curious to hear what you guys think about this episode. What are some recipes that you grew up with? What are some things that you do every year for Thanksgiving with your family, your friends? Staples around your house, around your town, around what you did growing up. We want to hear from you guys because we love all the interaction. Send us ideas for your games. Give us birthdays for Florida Man trend. Give us new stuff to talk about on the podcast because we couldn't be here without all of you, and we really do love all of it.
Tell us about your Thanksgiving disasters by emailing us at
Yes.
beardsandsundries@gmail.com or reach us on our socials at Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Message us there.
If you haven't already subscribed, there's always an opportunity right now. Subscribe to us. Share us with a friend. Make sure that someone else knows what you enjoy so much about this market. We love reaching out to you. We love reading your reviews. We love all the interaction that you guys send to us.
Please send us messages.
Comment on our YouTube even. That's where I keep up with a lot of them even. That and TikTok seem to be my biggest commenters. So keep up. We love it.
And as always, thank you for tuning in to episode 20 of Beards and Sundries, and we hope to see you next week for episode 21. And rate and review us on whatever platform you're listening or watching on.
Yes. Give us 5 stars.
Those reviews help so much. They put us in front of more people. The more reviewed we are, the more people who will get to see it. So if you're enjoying the podcast, help us get to other people who might also enjoy the podcast.
And if you're about to click anything less than 5 stars, why don't you write us a message first and tell us why you think we're less, so that way we don't have anything that says anything less than 5.
Why don't you just message us first with your name and address, a list of your fears, and your schedule.
And Anthony will come let you know how much he appreciates you.
I'll come let you know something.
Anthony will come something.
Anyways, thank you guys so much.
We love you so much.
So very much.
Yes, thank you again. We hope to see you next week for episode 21 of Beards and Sundries. We love you.
Keep coming back. The holidays are still here and we have a lot more to talk about.
So much inventory.
Bye.
Bye, Beardos.
Bye. Love yourself.